Hi viewers, in this video I'll show you how to create an EC2 instance which is a server on AWS, and also how to create a Windows system and also followed by a web server. Okay, so first we'll log into our AWS, and then if you see the compute, so EC2. So if you don't have this screen, you can always type in EC2 in the search bar and then click on EC2. Either ways it will come up. So your instances running or the servers created is 0 at the moment. So let's start creating a server. So click on the instances, and then it will show that because you haven't created any server or an instance, so there is no information over here. So click on the launch instances, which is on the right hand top corner, and this is the page where you start defining your server. So give it a name. I'll say Windows Server, and then you have to select which operating system you are going to use. We'll start with Windows first, so select Windows, and then make sure you only choose the free tier eligibility. Okay, so for now what I will do is I'll select Windows Server 2019 base. In fact, you can select anything which is under free tier so that you won't be charged. So what happens if you select other ones? So you'll get charged, simple. Then the instance type, again the same thing, free tier eligibility. I'll take T2 micro. So the difference you can actually see, compare it yourself. T2 micro, the family is there, which is the T family, and the CPUs and how many gigabytes of memory it is supporting, and current generations, and the pricing as well. Okay, so T2 micro I'll take, it is also free tier. Okay, and you have to give a key pair login. Okay, so we need to use a key so that you can actually use that key to create a Windows system on AWS, and you can use it on your local computer. So create a new key pair and then give it a name, my Windows key, and then I'll give it 1 2 3. Okay, then keep it as it is, the RSA pair and the PEM. So there are two private keys formats here, .pem and .ppk. So we'll be using OpenSSH and not PuTTY, but PuTTY we can see it in a different video altogether, but it does the same job. Create key pair, and then under network settings you allow the HTTPS and HTTP traffic. Okay, and that's about it. Your storage here is 30 gig, so let's keep it as it is, but you can increase, decrease, you just can change this one. I will keep it as 30 because the default is 30, and that's about for now to begin with, and launch the instance. So it will take a minute or two depending on the speed of your internet. It has successfully initiated. Just click on this ID which is created, it will take you to the next window. Okay, so now what it says is the instance state is running, Okay, and then you have a public IP address and also a private IP address. I'll come back to this, and meanwhile what we'll do is we'll click on the instances and see the dashboard. Okay, so it is still running and it is initializing. The status is initializing, but instance is actually running. I'll just wait for a couple of minutes for the status check to be up and running. Alright, so if you look at this, 2x2 checks passed and my Windows server is running. Okay, so the next step is just click on the connect. So there is a connect button on top, click, and then we'll connect using the RDP client. Click on the RDP client and you have to click on the download desktop file. Okay. Before that we need to get the password, so click on get password, and we have actually created a key pair. So click on upload and private key, click on upload private key, and then my Windows key 123.pem is what we have got in the initial stage when we were creating the key pair. Okay, select it, open, and then the key is actually available here. Now you have to decrypt the password. Click on decrypt, and then the password is actually generated. Simply copy it. Okay, and then you have to download the remote desktop. So we are trying to access the AWS Windows system from your laptop, okay, or your desktop, whatever it is. So download, and if you look at your downloads, you will find the Windows server. Okay, simply double click on it, and then a remote desktop connection will be established. This is a pop-up, and then connect. Okay, now it will ask for the password. So whatever the password you have copied, you just paste it here, and then OK. Now the remote desktop connection, it will ask you whether we want to connect despite these certificate errors. You say yes, and the RDP connection will be established, and you will find a window popping up. It will take a few minutes because it is setting up the Windows system. Yeah, the Windows system is successfully created. Now you can use this like the Windows which you have on your system. So the next step, what I will take you through, is to create an IIS server and deploy a simple application. Okay. So for that, what we will do is we'll search for something called the server manager. So you can just go to the search at the bottom, and then server manager is what I am looking for, because here what I will do is I'll simply create a web server. Okay, so for that, what I will do is configure this local server. So add roles and features is the first step. The wizard will be available after data collection finalizes. Click on OK. Now you can see that there is a pop-up window which has come up. So click on next, and then role based or feature based, next, and then again next. Now here select one or more roles to install on the selected server. So I just go down and select a web server which is IIS, Internet Information Server. So add features and then click on next. Okay, and then there is next again, and finally next. And the role services, let's take it the default ones, next, and then finally click on the install. So it is installing some common HTTP features, security, health and diagnostics, performance, and some management tools. Click on install. So it will take about a couple of minutes depending on the speed. Again. Alright, let's move to the local system. And then this PC. Okay. If you get into the C drive, you'll find something called inetpub. Okay. And then if you get into inetpub, you will find a www root. So this is the root folder where you have to deploy any web application. Okay. So here what I will do is I'll create a part, because that is the only editor I have got on my new machine, and also I have already generated a small HTML code. Okay, so here just add a h1, so put a h2 as well. Windows Server AWS accessing the application related on iOS. Okay, all you have to do is save and just navigate to this PC, C drive, inetpub, and then name this as index.html. Okay, and make sure that it's selected all files, index.html, and save as type is all files. And then let me just go back and check. So I have got index, and then this is an HTML document. Now let's try to access this. So we just minimize this, and let's go back to our EC2 instance. Okay. So I have come back and go back to your instances, and your Windows server is there. You select that, and then you have something called an public IP address. Just copy that and then paste it in the browser. And this is the output what I have got in a web browser. Okay, so we have successfully created a Windows server on AWS, and then we have got into the Windows system using RDP, and then you have created an IIS web server and an HTML document where we have put an h1 and also h2, which is being accessed in a web browser.